Hello everyone, and welcome to Counselor Your Future Friday. I'm your host, Brian Urban. In these features, we hope to give you some simple tips, tidbits, and tricks to make your days easier and your patients happier. In this feature, we're going to talk about restricting future dating on invoices. This feature enables you to have control over whether an invoice can be created on a future date, whether um, uh, line items can be added, whether payments can be added in the future. Okay, so we're going to do start by going to the admin section where this is controlled, and we'll come back to this invoice and show how it behaves within an invoice. All right, so we'll click on Administration in the top menu bar and then choose Invoice Options. All right, in the invoice locking area, there of course is the ability to lock past actions to prevent things from happening in the past or changes being made in the past. But here is what we're talking about, restrict future dating. As I mentioned before, this prevents invoices, line items, and payments from being dated on or after tomorrow. Okay, so it's preventing future dating. So let's go. So I'm going to go ahead and activate that, and then we'll jump back to our invoice. All right, there we are. So now we're on our invoice. What I'm going to do is attempt to add a line item once again in the future here. So we'll move this out. There we go. Pretty simple. And we'll click Add. We're going to message right away, invalid line item date cannot be in the future. So right away, if someone simply made a mistake, no big deal. This lets them know. They go ahead and they pick the proper date, of course, right? But once again, this would be the same thing for payments. It'd be the same thing if we try to generate an invoice into the future. It would stop us in our tracks there and not allow that process to continue. Now, it's important to note that if you intentionally do future date for very legitimate reasons, right? There can be things around depending on the funding source, the payer that you're working with. They may request that, or you need to do this for tracking purposes. So there are plenty of very legitimate scenarios where you do want to future date things, but if you're in your practice, you're saying we don't. Those scenarios do not apply to us, and we really want to be careful as to how people are creating invoices and adding things to those invoices. This can be a great tool also along with the locking past actions for really being sure that proper information is being entered into Counselor and tracked over time. So of course, if you have any questions, please give us a call, email us, live chat us. We are always happy to help. Thank you very much for joining us for today's Counselor Your Future Friday. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.